My name is Diogo Reis. I come from Portugal, from the Lisbon wine region. My company is Companhia Agrícola do Sanguinhal.
So Diego, Portugal has such a long history of wine production. How are you finding the markets like Canada are receiving the wines? Is there a renewed interest in the wines? Have the wines been received well over the years? What are you finding right now in a market like Canada?
I think it's my first trip to Canada, and then automatic to Vancouver. And what I appreciate the most it's like the recognition of our work at home, and the recognition also of the many years that my family has been producing wines. And what I respect a lot is the knowledge of the consumer, the consumer and the trade also. Like you are really informed.
So Portugal is known for having a tremendous number of indigenous grape varieties. Where you are, what varieties are you growing?
We grow there typical Portuguese grape varieties. For the reds, we have a blend that we have optimized as our DO Óbidos blend, is with Castelão, Touriga Nacional and Aragonês. So the Aragonês and Touriga Nacional you might know from other regions. Castelão is also quite known in Portugal. In our region used to be called Trincadeiro, not Trincadeira. And it's like the main grape variety in the reds for our blends. In the whites, we have our local grape variety, our indigenous grape variety. We are the biggest growers of this variety is Vital, with a T, not a D. And Arinto is also well known, and Fernão Pires.
Right. And in your area, what would you say really distinguishes this area in terms of wine production?
We are facing, like, our influence is the Atlantic, so we are 70 kilometers north of Lisbon. The nearest vineyards to the ocean are only separated from 13 kilometers away. There is a slight protection from slight slopes that are before the vineyards, but the influence is the Atlantic. We are covered also from a mountain that protects us from the warm weather. So we have really long maturations, really well balanced, really integrated the fruit with the acidity. It's a really interesting wines to try.
And as everywhere in Europe, but the wines are made to go with food, no? What would you recommend with some of your wines? What are some of your favorite dishes?
As we are near the ocean, our wines match really well they pair really well with seafood, definitely. But we also have in our region is a region for game, for rabbit. We have a lot of dishes with rabbit. Is our local specialty.
So there's a long family history to your winery. So what would you say are some of the big challenges that you're facing now, and what's the next evolution for your production? Because you have been in business for so many years.
Yeah, we've been in the business for over 100 years already. The states we own have been in the business even longer. The most challenging thing is to adapt to each momentum of the history. And one of our priorities was always to put the best value in the bottle. We are at the moment the oldest producer of still wine in the region, so we in the region of Lisbon, and but our focus was always the still wine production. And the challenging thing for me and for the next generation is to keep this still wine and this brand into the market with the same principles of quality. This is our focus. We are now in the middle, so we are working with 100 years of history, and we want to plant the next 100. So it's quite challenging.
Fantastic. Thank you, Diego.
Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So get back on your feet, running, then black out. So you're dwelling on your own, ready for giving.